Hello dear students, welcome to you all to the chemistry virtual class. Today I am going to discuss the creative question of chapter 2. What is the name of chapter 2? State of matter. Creative question, see question number 1. Here is the stem. In this first figure there is a balloon, and at the second figure there is potassium permanganate. Now question number A, what is the kinetic theory of particle? Before knowing about the kinetic theory, at first you have to know what is kinetic energy. You know, all the substance is formed by lots of small particles, and these particles are always on movement. Whenever heat is applied from outside, that time movement increases. As a result of this movement, a special type of energy is created. This is called kinetic energy. And the portion and the part where intermolecular attraction force of the substance and kinetic energy of substance is discussed is known as kinetic theory. Is it clear to you? Okay. Then come to question number B. Which one takes place at first between diffusion and effusion? At first we have to know what is diffusion and what is effusion. Diffusion is a process where a solid, liquid or gaseous substance can spread spontaneously and uniformly in any medium is known as diffusion. As an example, I can show you that whenever, suppose it's a bucket, and you are taking water over here. In your school uniform, you always use blue, and nowadays we are using liquid blue, right? So, if we take a few amount of water in a bucket, and if you pour liquid blue from the bottle like this way, liquid blue is poured over here, and if you don't shake the bucket or if you don't stir, just keep this in this way, so that what will happen? Can you guess? Gradually the color of this water will become blue without any stirring or without any shaking. This process is known as diffusion. In this process, what's happening? In this process, blue is mixing up with the water, so that the process in which solid, liquid or gaseous substance spread uniformly and spontaneously is known as diffusion. Now come to effusion. What is effusion? Suppose you are using body spray. Whenever we are using body spray, suppose it's the bottle of body spray. Here is a narrow hole, you know that. At the bottle of body spray, there is a narrow hole. Whenever we are using spray, we are pressing down the button. Whenever button is pressed, inside the bottle there is spray. It is kept in high pressure inside the bottle. So, after pressing down, spray is coming out. How is it coming out? Through a narrow hole. This process is known as effusion. So, how can you define effusion? The passage of gas from high pressure region to the low pressure region through a narrow hole is known as effusion. Inside the bottle, body spray is kept in gaseous form, and inside the bottle, in this region, pressure is high, and outside pressure is low. This process is known as effusion. But whenever we are using body spray, it is not existing only in our body. It is spreading out in whole atmosphere, in whole room. What will you say? What's the name of this process? This is called diffusion. That means whenever there is a effusion, obviously there is a diffusion. What is effusion? Whenever body spray coming out from the narrow hole, from high pressure to low pressure region. And what is diffusion? After coming out, whenever body spray is mixing up with the environment, that time it is known as effusion. Now question is that which one takes place at first between diffusion and effusion? What do you think? Obviously effusion will take place first because it's a mechanical process and very short time is needed for effusion. And you see diffusion, for diffusion time is needed. That means diffusion is a lengthy process and effusion is a quick process. So between these two, effusion will take place at first. Clear, dear students? Up to question number C. For which figure of the stem diffusion and effusion both are applicable? Can you guess for which figure it is applicable? Obviously for figure 1. Why? In case of balloon, suppose inside the balloon there is nitrogen tetroxide. It's a gas. So if you leak this balloon, what will happen? Gas will come out in a high speed. It is called effusion. And just after coming out, it will mix up with the environment. This gas will mix up with the whole environment. This is called diffusion. So in case of figure 1, diffusion and effusion both are applicable, but not for potassium permanganate. For potassium permanganate only diffusion is applicable. How? Suppose I am taking some water in a container. After that I am giving, do you know, potassium permanganate is available in crystalline form and the color of potassium permanganate is purple. So if you take just only 1 grain of potassium permanganate in this water without any stirring or shaking, whole water will be purple color just after a few time. It is called diffusion, but no effusion will take place over here. So for figure 1, diffusion, effusion both are applicable, and for figure 2 only diffusion is applicable. Now come to question number D. Analyze the relationship of intermolecular force with the state of matter. Before discussing this question, you have to know what is intermolecular force. You know, all the substances are formed by different types of lots of particles, and there is attraction force between the molecules. Between the molecules there is a attraction force. For this attraction force they can exist together. Whenever this attraction force is more, that time the substance is found in solid form, so that in case of solid, intermolecular attraction force is the highest. So in case of solid, intermolecular attraction force is the highest, and for this attraction force molecules can be packed closely together and it has a definite shape and volume. Solid has a definite shape and volume. Then come to liquid. In case of liquid, intermolecular attraction force is less than solid. For this reason, the molecules exist far away from each other. For this reason, liquid doesn't have any specific or any definite shape, but it has definite volume, and liquid can be poured from one container to the other container, so that in case of liquid, intermolecular attraction force is less than solid. Now come to gas. In case of gas, the intermolecular attraction force between the molecules is very less, and it is so less that we can ignore this. We can say that there is no attraction force between the molecules. That's why in case of gaseous substance, molecules are always on movement. They are running in random way. That's why gas doesn't have any specific shape, and their intermolecular attraction force is very less. It is so less that we can say that it has no intermolecular attraction force in case of gas. Is this clear to you? So, in case of solid, intermolecular attraction force is the highest. In case of liquid, it is medium, and in case of gas, it is the lowest. For this less intermolecular attraction force, there is no attraction force between the molecules. They are running in random. Frequently they are running. Is it clear? Okay, dear students. Now come to the creative number 2. In case of number 2, there are two reactions. Number 1, OX plus oxygen is equals to A plus B plus energy. Number 2, hydrogen plus oxygen is equals to B plus energy. Question number A, what is boiling point? At the constant pressure, the temperature in which any liquid substance can be converted into gas is known as boiling point. So, what I told, at the constant pressure, that means suppose pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure, and keeping the pressure constant, the temperature in which any liquid can be converted into gas is known as boiling point. All the substances has a specific boiling point. Do you know? Okay. Number B, why iodine is converted directly in gas if it is applied? Normally, we know that if we apply heat in any solid, so that at first the solid will be converted into liquid and the liquid will be converted into heat, like this way. Solid on the application of heat will be converted into liquid, and liquid on the application of heat will be converted into gas. This is the system. But there are some of the substance where we can find that by the application of heat from solid state, if we apply heat in any solid substance, so that it can be directly converted into gas instead of being liquid. Such type of substances are known as volatile substance, and this process is known as sublimation. Such type of substances are known as volatile substance or sublimated substance, and this process, which process? In which, the process in which by the application of heat any solid substance can be directly converted into gas instead of being liquid is known as sublimation, and such type of substances is known as sublimated substance. So, iodine is such type of substance. Iodine is a sublimated substance. It is a sublimated substance. And through the application of heat, iodine directly converted into gas instead of liquid, Reason is that it is sublimated substance. Okay, number C. What type of change occurs at the physical condition of compound B at 0 degree centigrade temperature? What is compound B? At first, we have to complete the reaction. Reaction number 1. Reaction number 1, OX. We know that OX is the mixture of hydrocarbon. If OX is burnt in oxygen, so that carbon dioxide plus water plus energy can be produced. Carbon dioxide plus water plus energy can be produced. Here compound B is water. Now question is that what type of change occurs at the physical condition of compound B at 0 degree centigrade temperature? If temperature is decreased at 0 degree centigrade temperature, water will be converted, will start to convert into solid state. That means will be converted into ice. That means intermolecular attraction force will be increased, and from liquid it will be converted into solid. Have you understood? If at 0 degree centigrade temperature, water will be converted into ice. Water is the liquid state and ice is the solid state. So it will be converted into gas. That means what happens in case of gas? Intermolecular attraction force will, it will be converted into solid, and kinetic energy is the lowest. Now number D. Both physical and chemical change take place in reaction 1, but only chemical change takes place in reaction 2. Analyze. OX is burned. See, dear students, in case of reaction number 1, candle is burned. Whenever candle is burned, I think all of you know, whenever candle is burning, that time it is melting, and in this way it is falling down and is deposited at the bottom portion as solid state. Whenever wax is burned, that time it is melting, and the melted wax is falling down and becoming deposited on the bottom portion. After being deposited, it is converted into solid, so that from wax we are getting wax, so that it is a physical change. So can you define what is physical change? In case of chemistry, there are two types of change. Number 1 is physical change and number 2 is chemical change. Physical change is such type of change where only outlook is changed, but percentage composition of the compound remaining unchanged. It is called physical change. In case of this one, wax is melting down and becoming deposited over here, and from wax we are getting wax. So it is physical change. It is solid state of wax, it is liquid state. But candle, whenever wax is burned, that time you know wax is basically hydrocarbon. That time this reaction is taking place. Wax plus oxygen is equals to carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Carbon dioxide is a gas. Just after producing, it is flying away. So it is not possible to get back wax from carbon dioxide. That's why it is chemical change. This one is physical change, this one is chemical change. So that in case of reaction 1, both physical and chemical change can be found. But in case of reaction 2, you know hydrogen, see reaction 2, H2 plus O2 is equals to water. Hydrogen and oxygen is combining and producing water. After producing water, it is not possible to get back hydrogen and oxygen again except electrolysis, so that it is a permanent change. Such type of change which is permanent and in which along with the outlook of the substance, percentage composition of the substance is also changed and new compound is formed is known as chemical change. So what I told, such type of change in which percentage composition of the compound is changed and fully new substance can be produced is known as chemical change. So in reaction 2, you see, after producing water, it is not possible to get back hydrogen and oxygen. That is why it is a chemical change. That means permanent change. So, what can you say? In case of reaction number 1, both physical and chemical change can be found, and in case of reaction number 2, only chemical change can be found. Is this clear to you, dear students? So, today up to this, if you have any problem or if you have any question, then talk to your subject teacher. So, thank you. See you at the next class.